Hello everyone. Did you know that some vegetables you've trusted your whole life might actually be putting your health at risk, especially if you're over 60? Today, we're breaking down 9 vegetables that seniors should never eat if they care about their digestion, kidneys, or even heart health. Stay with me because a few of these might be sitting in your fridge right now. And if you care about staying safe with every bite, don't forget to hit subscribe and follow HEALZO for more life-saving senior health tips. Number 1. Raw sprouts. Hey, let's talk about something that seems healthy but could be secretly making you sick. Bean sprouts, like alfalfa, clover, or mung bean sprouts, are often touted as a superfood. But if you're over 60, eating them raw can be risky. That's because these little sprouts grow in warm, moist conditions, which also allow harmful germs to grow quickly, faster than your body can handle at this age. The problem is, raw sprouts may seem clean and fresh, they don't smell bad and have a mild crunchy taste, but inside those germs can be lurking deep in the seeds and start spreading before you even eat them. For older adults, that can lead to stomach aches, fatigue, or even a trip to the emergency room, all because of a handful of raw sprouts. For senior health, the smarter choice is to fully cook the sprouts before eating them or replace them with cooked spinach or kale. You will still get the nutrients without the risk. Comment 1 below if this surprises you. Number 2. Cauliflower. Hey, have you ever finished a simple home-cooked dinner and still felt unusually full and heavy, even though you didn't eat much? For many people over 60, that feeling may come from something you'd never expect: cauliflower. It often appears on the dinner plate, steamed, boiled, or stir-fried, and seems like a harmless side dish. But here's the thing. For older adults, especially those with slower digestive systems, cauliflower can cause intestinal discomfort when eaten too often or not cooked thoroughly. You may notice bloating, gas, or just a feeling that the food is still there. It's not always painful, but it builds up over time. That discomfort can silently reduce your appetite, which means you start eating less, skipping meals, and that's where the real risks to your senior health begin. So what can you do? Try steaming the cauliflower until it's very soft and eating it in small portions. Or replace it with cooked carrots or zucchini, which are much easier to digest. If you thought soft veggies like cauliflower were the end of your digestive worries, think again. Spinach, though it looks innocent, can quietly turn into trouble if you're not careful. Number 3. Spinach. Hey, take a closer look at that bag of spinach sitting in your fridge. Spinach may seem like the perfect health food, easy to mix into smoothies, or stir-fries. But for older adults, especially those over 60, eating it raw or handling it improperly can secretly do more harm than good. Here's why. Spinach is often sold in sealed plastic bags, pre-washed and ready to eat. But if it's been sitting on the shelf for too long or stored at the wrong temperature during shipping, it could contain hidden contaminants. And unlike cooked foods, raw spinach doesn't undergo any heat treatment to kill harmful germs. That's why people over 60 who naturally have weaker immune systems can be prone to stomach aches, fatigue, or even mild infections after eating spoiled or unwashed spinach. Some older adults even buy spinach in bulk and leave it in the refrigerator for too long. The leaves may look fine on the outside, but they may have wilted and grown bacteria deep inside the bunch. All of this poses a hidden risk to your senior's health, especially if spinach is a daily habit. A better way? Rewash spinach at home, even if the label says pre-washed. Eat it within a few days of purchase or cook it lightly to reduce the risk. Avoid leaves that are soggy, yellow, or slimy. If spinach has ever made you feel sick, or if it's something you eat raw every day, comment below, and 3 below. A small change can make a big difference. Number 4, cabbage. Hey, let's talk about what might actually be causing that heavy, sluggish feeling after lunch. Cabbage is a staple in many older adults' meals, from salads to soups. It looks fresh, it's affordable, and it seems like a healthy choice, but if it's not washed thoroughly or cooked long enough, cabbage can be surprisingly difficult to digest, especially after age 60. Here's the thing, cabbage leaves often retain dirt, soil, or even small insects deep inside their folds. If you buy it from a flea market or in large containers that have been sitting for hours, that risk increases. And when it's uncooked or eaten raw, like in a salad, it can be hard on an older person's stomach. That leads to bloating, discomfort, and eventually skipping meals just to avoid the discomfort. Worse still, improperly stored cabbage, especially pre-shredded, can begin to spoil without a strong odor, silently upsetting your digestive system. For better health as you age, make sure to wash your cabbage thoroughly, peel off the outer layers, and cook it until tender. Avoid cabbage that feels slimy or has a slightly sour smell before cooking. So if you've been feeling heavy after cabbage-based meals, don't overlook the leftovers hiding in your fridge. Beets may look safe, but their freshness has a short window too. Number 5, beets. Hey everyone, let's talk about something that many older people do without thinking twice. Boil a batch of beets and leave them in the fridge for a week. They're beautiful, soft, and easy to eat. But if those beets sit around for too long, even in a clean container, things can quietly go wrong. After just a few days, their flavor can start to change, becoming slightly sour or metallic, and the texture can become tough or dry. These changes aren't just unpleasant, they're also an early sign that the beets are starting to go bad or ferment, especially if the container isn't airtight or the fridge isn't cold enough. And here's the thing, spoiled beets don't always smell bad. You might eat them and think they're fine, but for older people with more sensitive stomachs, it can lead to mild stomach discomfort, bloating, or even a sudden loss of appetite. And if it happens more than once, it can slowly sap your energy and health as you age. Better habits? Only cook as much as you'll eat in 2 to 3 days. Store them in a shallow, airtight container, not a deep bowl where the heat is trapped. And if you want to prepare them in advance, freeze small portions. Comment 5 below if you've ever left your beets a little too long. It's an easy fix that can save your gut a lot of trouble. Number 6, Brussels sprouts. Hey, did you know that some vegetables take more work for your body to digest after age 60? Let's talk about Brussels sprouts. According to the National Institute on Aging, the average digestive transit time slows down significantly in older adults. That means that high-fiber foods like Brussels sprouts, while nutritious, can stay in your gut longer, especially if eaten in large quantities or undercooked. A dietitian from the American Dietetic Association explains that for older adults with reduced stomach acid or a slower metabolism, this vegetable can cause bloating, lower abdominal pain, or even mild nausea. In fact, that can lead to you skipping dinner because you're still full from lunch, or worse, feeling so uncomfortable that you avoid eating altogether. Think about the pattern here. When you feel more bloated, you tend to eat less. When you eat less, your body gets weaker. And over time, that will slowly erode your senior health, even if you don't notice it right away. So what can you do? Start with small amounts, steam them until tender, and eat them with warm broth or soup. That makes it much easier on your digestive system. Now, if overcooked sprouts make you feel uncomfortable, don't assume raw and crunchy is always better. Celery brings its own hidden risks, especially when you trust it too easily. Number 7. Celery. Hi, quick question. Have you ever bought a bunch of celery from the store because it looked fresh, crisp, and ready to eat? Well, here's something most people over 60 never think about. Celery, once cut or bruised, spoils very quickly, and the danger isn't always visible. Small brown spots or a stringy texture may seem harmless, but they can be an early sign of bacteria buildup, especially if the celery has been sitting too long at the market or has been kept in warm conditions during shipping. Older people often eat raw celery without cooking or washing it thoroughly. But if it hasn't been washed, especially near the base, it can carry dirt, pesticide residues, or even harmful bacteria that cling to the fibers inside. That can lead to stomach upset or even food poisoning, especially in older people with weakened immune systems. For senior health, buy celery from clean, refrigerated display cases. Wash each stalk thoroughly, cut off the base, and cook or steam it if you have any doubts about freshness. Avoid bunches that are soft, yellow, or have a strong odor. If you have ever eaten celery that tasted or made you feel sick afterward, comment 7 below. The problem may not be your stomach, but the celery. Number 8. Pre-cut or bagged mixed greens. Hey, if you ever bought a bag of pre-washed salad greens or smoothie greens just to save time in the kitchen? So sure, it's convenient, but for older adults, these ready-to-eat greens can be a hidden risk, especially if you don't check them carefully before eating them. Here's the thing. Once leafy greens are washed, chopped, and sealed in plastic, they start to rot faster than whole vegetables. The moisture trapped inside the bag, plus a little warmth during shipping or storage, creates the perfect environment for bacteria to grow, even before the best before date. And the worst part? The top leaves may still look green and fresh, while the bottom of the bag starts to get slimy or smell slightly sour. If you eat them without noticing, especially raw, it can lead to stomach discomfort, bloating, or even mild food poisoning. For seniors, it's a bigger issue than most people realize and can ruin your appetite for days and leave you feeling weak or tired. What's the safer option? Always check the bottom of the bag. If there's too much moisture or any leaves are mushy, throw it out. Better yet, rewash your greens at home, even if the label says triple washed. And eat them within a day or two of opening the bag. If bagged greens are irregular in your fridge, comment below. A few seconds of checking can save you a lot of trouble. Number 9. HomeGrow or farmer's market produce. Hi, have you ever picked vegetables straight from your garden or bought them fresh from your local farmer's market thinking these are safer than store-bought? That belief is common. Many older adults feel more secure eating food grown by their neighbors or themselves. But here's the truth. Even homegrown or local produce can pose risks, especially if not washed properly. Fruits and vegetables from your garden or outdoor market are often exposed to dirt, insects, bird droppings, or natural fertilizers. The leaves or roots may look clean, but tiny particles can be embedded deep in the folds or under the skin. And since these sources don't undergo the same formal cleaning or inspection as supermarket produce, any bacteria or soil residues remain intact. You may give them a quick rinse under running water, thinking that's enough. But if you're over 60 and have a weaker immune system, that shortcut can lead to stomach aches, nausea, or even mild infections that silently sap your appetite and energy. It's a real threat to senior health, especially when it builds up over time. So what should you do? Always soak produce from the garden or market in clean water for a few minutes. Scrub it gently with a brush if necessary and dry it thoroughly. Even things that look freshly picked need that extra step. And if even packaged greens from the store can go wrong, what about the veggies from your garden or neighbor's farm? Let's talk about why fresh from the ground still needs a second look. So let's take a look back at what we've just discovered. Sometimes the problem isn't the food itself, but how it was grown, stored, cooked, or even how long it's been sitting in your fridge. From sprouts that harbor harmful germs to leftover beets that silently ferment after a few days, or even that bag of salad that looks fine on top but is mushy at the bottom. Even vegetables we've relied on for years, like cabbage, spinach, and celery, can cause unpleasant surprises if we skip the little steps. Washing them properly, cooking them thoroughly, or simply checking for signs that they're past their expiration date. And sure, picking up produce from the farmer's market or your backyard garden may seem safe, but if it's not cleaned properly, it can carry more than just dirt. The truth is, after 60, your body becomes more sensitive, even to things that never bothered you before. But don't worry. With a little more attention to how your food is handled, you can still enjoy your favorite vegetables without worrying about an upset stomach or unexpected fatigue. Hi, here's something most people never think about. Not just what vegetables you eat, but when you eat them. A lot of older people love a big salad or vegetable dish in the evening. It feels light, bland, and simple. But after 60, your digestive system doesn't work as quickly as it used to, especially in the evening. That late-night bowl of raw vegetables, or even stir-fried vegetables, can leave you feeling bloated, too full to sleep, or waking up with a stomachache. The truth is, your body slows down at night. So when you eat hard-to-digest vegetables close to bedtime, they tend to linger in your stomach longer. That can quietly disrupt your sleep, reduce your appetite the next morning, or just leave you feeling uncomfortable. A better option? Try moving those vegetable-heavy meals to earlier in the day. Eating an early lunch or dinner gives your body more time to digest everything. You'll rest easier, and your senior's health will benefit from better digestion, better sleep, and a more consistent eating schedule. Small changes, big benefits. And as we've just said, sometimes it's not just what you eat, but when you eat it. Just that one small change can help make digestion easier, improve sleep, and protect your appetite day after day. Now imagine what would happen if you made a few more small changes, checking your produce more carefully, cooking it properly, storing it properly. By adjusting these daily habits early on, you're giving your body a real chance to stay strong, energized, and better protected against potential dangers in your kitchen. So remember the main message of today's video. Some vegetables aren't dangerous, but they can become risky when we forget how sensitive our bodies become after 60. For better health in old age, it's not about being afraid, it's about being a little smarter with each bite. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to HEALZO. Drink enough water, schedule regular health checkups, and share this video with your loved ones who need it too.